going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Microsoft says, we know we have work to do and earn every player. Xbox CEO amidst growth is falling short. We're also going to cover a post on Twitter talking about the analytics of Xbox being on other platforms and how much they've created since they put it on the other platform of PlayStation. We're talking about PlayStation user report, new online license check, but Sony quills the concerns with just 2 sentences. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we also have Xbox revenue falls in the latest Microsoft earning report from Insider Gaming. And then we're going to watch ACG. He has a 007 First Light preview. He says, are you ready? Or you are ready, I should say. So we'll watch that because that's coming out soon. I know a lot of people are hyped about the new First Light 007. Other people are like on the fence. So we're going to watch, see what he has to say, because he doesn't give a score. He usually just gives, like, is it a pass? Is it a buy? Is it a, wait to go on sale type of thing? So we'll watch that as well. How's it going, chat? Good morning. Good morning. Let me see who's all here. Ward, good morning. Travis, good morning. Roadkill, good morning. Roadkill, Jason, Aku. Let's see here. Sarge, good morning. Jesse Mack, good morning. Blanky, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Jesse Mack already said, Waterbear, good morning. How's everyone doing? All right. I can't believe it's Thursday already, man. Like, I feel like as soon as I'm done with the stream on Thursday night, which is tonight for podcast, GXG, join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern right here. As soon as it ends, it's like the weekend happens, and it's like, oh, Friday. A whole bunch of news comes out on Friday. You guys post a whole bunch of stuff on the weekends. And then I'm like, all right, Monday. And then boom, Thursday. We're done with April. Today is the last day of April. Where has the year gone? My son's got, well, I'm sure your kids as well, they only have 4 weeks left. 19 days or whatever it is left of school. That's insane. That's insane. All right. We're going to start with the Xbox stuff because we try to, people that click on the video because of the thumbnail, whatever, we try to do the first story as what the thumbnail is. And then after the fact, we do other stories, then we do breakout videos and whatnot. Water Bear says, yeah, we're in the process of moving. Oh, wrong thing. We are in the process of moving Thursday. Saturday, turning the new garage into a man cave. Nice. Yeah, it's crazy how fast they're out of school. Someone posted this morning, or yesterday. I think it was yesterday, Travis. Someone that I went to high school with, right? I remember I went to high school with her. I remember when she had her kid, like not in high school, but after we graduated. And now her daughter is graduating. And I'm like, where in the world has time gone? It's like a blink of an eye. All right, let's start off here with, we know what we have to work to do and earn players. Xbox CEO amidst growth is falling short. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. Just to give you guys heads up, it says the goal today is 0 for 5, but if you click on the actual goal, it tells you the extra stream on Friday. If we hit 10 super chats for the week, we're at 8. We are at 8 of 10 as of this morning. So I'm not trying to sneak something in and be like, oh, we're 0 for 5. No, we're 8 of 10. It just, YouTube doesn't let me update it. So I got to put a new one up every single day just to let you guys know. So we're at 8 of 10. All right. So we know we have a lot of work to do and earn every player. Xbox CEO amidst growth failing. This comes from Adam Hales from Windows Central. He says, Xbox CEO Asha Sharma amidst growth. I said her name 3 times. Mo's probably pulling over to the side of the road right now so he can type. Asha Sharma amidst growth has not met expectations, offering a rare candid response as Microsoft reports declines across the gaming division. So Microsoft's quarterly revenue is in for a Q3 2026 earnings. While the company is up overall, it's a different story for Xbox division, which has reported declines across the board. If what feels like a notably honest response, Xbox CEO Asha Sharma took to X, formerly Twitter, to address the performance. I don't think we have to keep saying this. Just saying. Like, I don't think you have to keep saying formerly Twitter, to address the performance directly. Her comment strikes a more candid tone than usual. It's not something I feel like is usually get the following a poor performance from a company acknowledging the clear shortcomings at Xbox. It says, quote, Xbox earnings today. While we have made progress expanding the business and our margins, players and revenue growth has not yet met our ambition. Okay, we know that we have a lot of work to do and earn every player today into the future. Now, she came out with something, was a couple weeks ago. There's Mo. See, he pulled over. To tell us, what they're changing, which is fine, right? I love change, right? If you don't change or adapt, you'll fail, right? So I love that. The problem is the people that are making the change are still there that were there when they fired the other people, right? So Amy and Satya Nadella are still there. They're the ones that told Phil, Sarah, and Matt's still there underneath Asha, told them they had to do the 30% margins. They told them they had to do this. They told them they had to put this on Game Pass. They told them they had to make everything, right? They had to tell all the AI, all the stuff. They told them to do this, and they did it, right?
And here we see number 9. Let's hit that 10.
There you go. Thank you very much, Eclipse. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Right, so it says, honestly, quite straightforward, and that's what Xbox needs right now. It says, I'm sure nobody expected Xbox to do a complete 180 in just 2 months. Since Sharma became CEO, as that would be ridiculous and nothing short of a miracle. Okay, for those who don't know, here's a report of earnings of the fiscal year 26 of quarter 3 period. Xbox hardware revenue is down 33%. 33%. Okay, Xbox content and service revenue is down 5%. Gaming revenue is down 7%. Okay, fans online have some choice comments regarding what Sharma said. One user on Xbox stated, I love how they always use Reddit, said, quote, Xbox needs to bring back the appeal to Xbox consoles, which should be a priority point of the brand. Gives us, again, a reason to invest in the platform. It says it's a sentiment that also has been discussed heavily lately, often leading back to the topic of exclusives, something that reportedly under heavy discussion at Xbox. I just don't know why they don't do, if it's a live service game, put it out, right? But you don't have to put it out right away. You could do the same business model that Sony did, where they put it on their platform first, and then they put it out on their PlayStation Plus later, or they put it out on PC later, right? 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, whatever it is, then put it over to the other platform. Now, again, I don't think they have to do this at all, okay? But live service games make sense, right? Because you're just constantly keeping it updated, and you're putting it. Now, the single-player games, on the other hand, maybe you don't do it, right? Maybe you don't do it. Maybe you don't put the Avowed like you did. Maybe you don't put Indiana Jones like you did. Maybe you don't put Halo like you're going to do, right? Like all of these things maybe shouldn't go over to the other platforms because that is your core of what Xbox is, right? But hey, they're the business. They know best, right? So it says, what is clear here is that people are expecting it to be become better. Others, meanwhile, are simply cheering Asha on, which one user states, you can do it, Asha, right? I picture Rob Schneider, you can do it, okay? It's certainly a refreshing time to be an Xbox fan. And it's also refreshing that it's also the first real bad news we've also had in 2 months, though, is unavoidable. There's been a lot of other things. Let's settle down here, right? This is the problem with people that are fanboys of stuff. They quickly forget the actual problems. They're like, oh, everything's turned around. Everything's changed. They just announced things. Nothing has actually happened yet, right? Like the first person saying that they need to appeal to priority points brands and gives us a reason to invest in the platform. Do they forget? I can still play my games on my MetaQuest. I can still play my games on my mobile phone. I can still play the games on my tablet. I can still play the games on my PC. I can still play the games on my television set, right? I can still do all these things. Just because the marketing of everything's an Xbox is gone doesn't mean everything's still not an Xbox. Everything is still an Xbox. It's not exclusive. If I can play the game without owning an Xbox and play it on my television set or from the cloud or on the internet through an app, right? It's the exact same. Nothing's changed. Just the marketing. The marketing is not telling you that everything's an Xbox anymore. Okay? So it's mind-boggling to me that something is so simple as not saying everything's an Xbox, even though everything is still an Xbox, is the fix. Right? Everything's the fix. Nothing's actually changed except the marketing of letting you know that everything's an Xbox, even though everything is an Xbox, right? There's still Windows problems that they have to fix, right? There's still the latency issue. They don't even have the best, and I've been using it for 5 years, all right? The cloud service, it's good. It's not great. Sony's is much better, right? Like, there's things that need to be fixed, and everyone's like, no, they just announced that everything's not an Xbox anymore, and that's it. Everyone's like, they're changing everything. They're fixing everything. They're not going to use AI. Sure. Words are great. Actions are better. 6 months from now, when we actually see the things getting an effect and change, fantastic, right? That's what we'll know. But it's the little things, right? Changing the $30 price tag of Game Pass down to $23. Everyone's like, oh, see? They're listening. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think, right? Obviously, these numbers, 33% terrible, right? I think it was 25% last quarter, okay? Revenue down 5%. Gaming revenue down 7%. That's huge. That's huge. I know people look at this and go, up 5%, 7%. That's huge. Not up, down, right? That's a swing. That's millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that have swung off, right? But this is a multi-trillion-dollar company, right? But again, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Has Xbox changed your mindset of, yep, they're making it? Now, obviously, like I said, you have to change, right? They're third place in the console wars that you guys like to talk about, okay? If you're third place, you got to do something, unless you just stay in third place, right? They are competing with Steam. They are trying to fix their OS, Windows 11. They are trying to make it more gaming-centric for the people, take away a lot of the stuff that's in the AI out of the actual system. So they are trying to compete, which is fantastic. Here's the difference now, right? When the Xbox Helix comes out, right? Their next project that they're going to do, when they start competing with Steam, when they're on the PC, you as a PC player, you have more options to where to buy games, right? Just on your system that you purchased, that you created, what you put your RAM in, your motherboard in, what graphics cards you want, what storage, what power supply, you can make your own thing. You can pick the highest end stuff. You can pick the low end stuff. You can choose what you want to use on your budget to make the thing that you want. You're not buying a plastic box. You're making your computer. There's a lot more things than just play video games, okay? And on top of that, you don't have to buy a separate console to play their games. You can play Steam games, right? That's on Steam. You can buy the games from GOG. You can buy the games from Humble Bundle. You can buy the games from Epic Launcher. You can buy the game from the Microsoft Store. You can do all of these things, all from one PC. And all you got to do is just take the mouse cursor and move it down to the next thing and open that launcher, and then open this thing and open that thing, right? Xbox is already on your PC, regardless. If you have Windows, they're there. Ta-da. Right? So they don't really have to do much, and they can compete with Steam because they're already on the box that you bought, which is not a box. It's your computer. You do a lot more things, right? How many people are using their PlayStation or Xbox to check their email, right? What percentage is that? I'm sure there are people out there. They're like, oh, yeah, let me use that and go over to, let me type in my email through the keyboard, right? I'm sure there are people doing that, but very few. I bet you there's more people jailbreaking stuff than actually using them to check their emails, okay? So Xbox is trying to compete with Steam. They're not trying to lower Steam's quality. They're trying to bring up their quality to what Steam is. Again, my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Travis says the Xbox games go not on PlayStation 5. That's fine. We don't have to keep carrying them. Okay. Now, as you say that.
Good morning.
Ward, thank you very much for the good morning $5 super chat. And we have hit our goal. So I will be doing a Friday stream tomorrow. It won't be starting at 10 o'clock. Well, it might be starting at 10 o'clock. But we will do a stream tomorrow for you guys. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. All right. Let me show you this, Travis, because this is funny because you're like, we don't want you guys to carry Xbox. All right, so here's your carrying. right? Here's your caring. Right, here's the list. Here, actually, let me open up in a new tab. Okay. This is you caring. Right? There's Doom of Dark Ages, 567,000. Indiana Jones, 537,000. Ninja Gaiden, 262,000. Flight Sim, 252,000. Starfield at 207,000. Age of Empires, 273,000. What are we talking about? They're not carrying anything. They're not carrying anything. That's your slip of a PlayStation fanboy right there. That's not carrying anything. That's just making extra money. Waterbear says, anytime a company loses money and makes super hard pivot, they also feel like the world is ending. Right. Right, Water. Clip says, I mean, it all sounds good, but words mean nothing. Right. Actions are louder than words. You could tell me anything you want. We're only doing 4 games, they said. Let's go back to just the 4 games. Let's go to the 4 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Only 4 games. Only 4 games. Remember that.
Sony guys don't buy games.
No, they jailbreak, according to yesterday, Aku. There's more people jailbreaking PlayStations than actually buying the games on PlayStation. Waterbear says, this article is much about nothing. We knew they were down, hence the reason Asha Sharma is there, and others, too, are gone. We will revisit this in 6 to 12 months. Right. Right. Here's the weird thing. Like, do they think we're stupid, right? They have to think we're stupid. Phil Spencer, it's sort of like what PlayStation and Meta just did, right? Where they just raised the prices of their stuff from Monday to Tuesday just because, right? Phil Spencer was there on a Friday and she came in on a Monday, and all of a sudden we're like, Xbox is completely different. Even though the person that told Phil Spencer to do the stuff that he needed to do is still sitting in the top of the CEO spot. Amy is still at the company, right? Satya Nadella is still at the company, and all of a sudden they had a change of heart. It's the same people that are still running the company. Just Enough says, I have now decided to get my Microsoft $29.99 a month for the rest of my life. Well, there you go. You see, one sold customer right there. Kraken says, I'm not buying what Asha is selling. They brought the price down, but it's still more expensive than it was before. Increase. This is not a win or not a W, in my opinion. They got a long way to go for, as of right now, Kraken, myself, because of what Xbox and PlayStation, what they've done for this generation, lying about what's in the box, like the 4K, what games are coming out, all the other problems, raising the prices. I'm not buying the next-gen console at all right now. Not day one, not week one, not month one. They have to win me over, okay? I'm okay. If I'm stuck on this console for the next 7 years, or I'm playing on PC, I'm cool. I don't need to buy the next box for lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies, right? I don't need it. They have to win me back. Personally, I'm not speaking for you guys. I'm speaking for me. Waterbear says, but it's too hard to move my mouse cursor to another launcher 30. I know it's hard. You just got. That's why Epic Launcher doesn't. That's why they fail. Steam's here, Epic's here. Now you got to put Microsoft here. You got to go a whole, I don't know, quarter of an inch. Oh my God, it's gonna be excruciating. Clip says PlayStation 5 doesn't even have a browser, so I don't know how they're doing that. Oh, for the emails? Yeah. Travis says, because we're the ones buying the games. Y'all rent passing them. Oh, my God. Did you take your PlayStation pills this morning? Is that what you just did? Is that what you're doing? Amazing. Xbox games, not even good. Not even good when they release anyways. It takes them around 6 to 18 months to fix the game, and after it fixes on PlayStation, Xbox players are in beta testers. Well, that's just the gaming industry in general, isn't it? What we got? Altard says, to be fair, Starfield is low on the list because it keeps crashing on the console. 2.5 years later. Mr. G says 30. Oh, yes, Microsoft/Xbox are the smartest kid in the room. Yeah, we're idiots. We are idiots. Water says, I pissed I threw my PlayStation 5 day one box away. It definitely said 8K. Oh, 100% it said 8K. It said 8K on there. It said 4K on the Xbox. Up to. It's up to. Mo says, I mean, more expensive than it was, but I'm still saving because I got Fortnite and Ubi. Mo, stop it, man. You're paying more than you were before 5 years into the cycle. I mean, if you're fine paying for it, but you're not getting a better deal. You're getting a worse off deal. Jesse Mack says, players who own trusts with Phil for decades because he's like a gamer rather than Asha, but she's another corpo. I understand why people are concerned, right? We've talked about this when it came out. I don't care if she's a gamer or not. I don't. All I care about as a customer, right? Because I never bought an Xbox because Phil was a gamer. I didn't buy a PlayStation because the CEO was a gamer. I don't care. I bought a PlayStation in the past because of the games. I bought an Xbox because of the games, the value, what it is. I don't care if the CEO plays video games or not. I honestly don't give a shit. Right? And I don't know why it would make it matter. Like, let me ask you this. Starfield would be better if someone was a gamer or not a gamer that ran the company. We're talking about Xbox, not Bethesda now, right? Is Starfield a better game if Phil was there? No, it's not. Starfield came out. It was less broke than other past Bethesda games, but it still wasn't a good game. The main story is absolute trash. The side missions are fantastic. The game of itself, 1,000 plants, empty, bare, nothing to do, right? And obviously they're fixing it. But because a person was a gamer in the company, didn't make that game better. Kraken says, yeah, I'm good on the PC for a foreseeable future. Sony wants to pull their games from PC. That's fine. They won't be getting my money at all. I think they're doing a launcher, which is another launcher. And you gotta move the cursor in 4 different places now. Which, again, convenience, right? Why do I need an Xbox? If I have a PC, you guys have a PC, right? You have games on Steam. A new game comes out. Let's just say Grand Theft Auto comes out on all platforms. I know it's not. People are going to be like, it's not coming out. Let's just say Grand Theft Auto comes out on PC, console, Xbox, PlayStation, right? Day one. If I'm a PC owner, and next Xbox is going to be a Grand Theft, is going to be a PC, so I can just play the PC game on my PC. Why would I buy Grand Theft Auto through the Microsoft store when I can buy it on the Steam store, which all the rest of my stuff is there, right? Why would I buy it through PlayStation when PlayStation makes me check in and PC doesn't, right? Why would I buy the console version on my PC? Why would I go through if Sony does a launcher, why would I buy it through Sony through my PC? Why would I buy it through Xbox on my PC? Why would I do that? Because at that point, it doesn't really matter where your library is. It's on your PC. Blocking says, I think Game Pass needs a bundle with other services to be successful. I think all the services to get with Amazon Prime subscription. I agree and I don't agree with you, right? I agree that they need to do something, but what I think they do, I talked about this, and I know you're new on my channel, and I appreciate you here. Last week, I think we talked about, and we were talking about because they backed off the $30 one, went down to 23, right? I said, I think they just need to make Game Pass for PC and Game Pass, like for console, the $14 to $15 range, right? I think it's $13.99 and $14.99 or $15.99, whatever it is. So it's like $13 to $16. If they just not have the Ultimate, not have this, not have that, they just make it, this is the price, $13, $15, whatever it is. And then it's a la carte. So if I want Ubisoft Plus, or if I want EA Play, or if I want the Fortnite stuff, or if I want, you could take and put what you want on it. That way more people get into the service for them. So they're accruing that $15, $16 a month. And then other people are like, you know what, I really like the service. I'm going to add on to it. I'm going to add on to Ubisoft Plus because it's cheaper for me to do that for a month than it is to go buy the game, right? Because I'll be done with the next Assassin's Creed game before a month's up. So I'm just gonna upgrade, right? And they could do that. That to me would be a better thing than teaming up with Amazon, teaming up with Netflix, teaming up with stuff like that. All they have to do is just lower that price. Justin Up says, I still got mine. It says 8K. How's that 8K gaming working out for you? Altern says, did everyone ever fix the crashes in Starfield, or are they just devs working too hard? Has Bethesda employees have breaks? Yeah. Has anyone checked on them? Are they okay over there? What article wrote that? Was that a GameSpot article? Or was that PC Gamer? I think it was PC Gamer, right? Has anyone checked on the guys at Pearl Abyss? Are they okay? Blink if you're being held hostage. Kraken says, whole lot of coping in this chat today. Holy shit. Mo thinks higher numbers is good. Mike, we know that. Clip says, I'm surprised Starfield already sold that much on PlayStation. It hasn't even been out a month yet. That's crazy. And it's broke. It sold 207,000 and it's broke. Mo says, I got to get the Fortnite today with my son so I can jump on his shoulders. Oh yeah, they have that update with the shoulders. See, I wish you've talked about this in the past, Mo, about the family plan type of thing. I don't use the Fortnite stuff, but I can't give him the Fortnite stuff, right? So they're giving me like free V-Bucks, whatever. So now I'm just kind of like gifting it to him. I wish I could just move my plan over to him, like give it to him. I wish I could do that, but they won't do that. They're like, you have to get 2 accounts. You have to pay for 2 Ultimate accounts. Instead of going, you know what, I'm not using that. This is why I like the a la carte option. Because I don't use the Fortnite. He would. Just Enough says, it feels better getting fucked when you're like the person who's doing it. It's very true. Sarge says, can you make a game? Do you have a team that can make a game? Do you know how to sell a game? Your market. Otherwise, I don't give a shit. Travis says, Starfield would be better if they got rid of that obvious serial killer looking dude and the running the company and telling us a thing that's 16 times the detail. Why do you go to everyone's a PDF or a serial killer? Why is that? That's telling. I'm just saying. Projecting. It's projecting. Everyone is like, you need to settle down with the PDFs and the serial killer stuff. I know you didn't say the PDF today. Waterbear says, I will never understand the choice to go with over 1,000 plants filled with different colored rocks instead of focusing on 10 to 15 plants filled with the brim with life, quest, and etc. Well, to be fair, we give a lot of shit to Bethesda for 1,000 planets. But No Man's Sky has 18 quintillion. I'm just saying. If you're going to give shit to 1,000 planets of Bethesda, you got to give shit to No Man's Sky for 18 quintillion planets. That's quintillion with the Q. Waterbear says, 30 said it, stamp it. Day and date, GTA 6, PC, baby. Calm down. It was an example. It's not happening. And if it does, though, I did call it. No, I didn't. We talked about that a year ago, 2 years ago. Mr. D says, They were so proud of the random generated tech. Flatulation, baby. Oh, we are so cool. Not really. No Man's Sky did it 8 years prior with 18 quintillion. Altern says 30 confirmed GTA 6 coming to all to consoles and PSA. You heard it here first in stream. Settle down. Settle down. Just Enough says I can play Pong in 8K. That would look beautiful, wouldn't it? That pixel, you would never have that little blurred line around it. Mr. G says Pearl Abyss gave bonuses from what I heard. But are they okay? Are they okay, Z? Because the person that wrote the article was like, I've never seen a game get upgraded so fast. How did they do this? Are the developers okay? Yeah, it's their job. That's their job. Make a game, sell a game, and then fix the game. Right? That's their job. That's what they do. They're like, are they okay? Has anyone checked on them? Have they had a day off? Can you imagine? You walk into Walmart. Someone says, can I help you today? You're like, no, can I help you? Are you okay? Have you had a day off? When's the last time you went on a vacation? Employee's like, what the hell are you doing? Do you need help with something? No, I'm here to help you. Are you okay? Did you work? Are they feeding you? Like, what are we doing? Oculus at 30. Who's smarter? Is the PDF or the serial killer? If so, make him feel better after being shown to be lacking. Waterbear says Eastern devs seem to be putting more love into the game because the average they make less, so they need their games to succeed. This is why they're kicking their asses. 95% of the AAA titles are from the West. Yeah, it's weird though. Every time a game comes out from like Korea, the journalists like really hate them. They really hate them. Altered says, now I want to go to Walmart and ask them, are you okay? Do you take breaks? Yeah, like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Ashraf says, I can't forgive Atomic Heart for performing well on PC day one. Wait. I can't forgive Atomic Heart for performing well on PC. You can't forgive it? So it worked well? It worked well or it didn't work well? I'm confused by your statement. Did Atomic Heart work well for you or it didn't work well? It did. And you were surprised by that? That should be the standard. I see more people taking breaks, getting snacks, etc., than open at the checkout or the check stand. That's true. It is true. No one's there. I played a new gacha game. It's all right. It feels more like Azuka than Grand Theft Auto, like people are saying. What happened to that game that's like Grand Theft Auto that was like the Japanese animated one? What was that game called? Justin Love says Walmart employees are not okay. Are you speaking from experience? Are you okay? Did you get a break? Have you eaten? Are you okay? Put an emote blinking if you're okay in chat. I want to play Atomic Heart. I just got lost in the sauce with all the other games I wanted to drop around them. They're actually doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. Yeah, that's it, Waterbear. That's it. What do you think of how many will buy GTA 6 on PlayStation while DRM on there? That all goes out the window, Jesse. The people that are concerned about DRM, which we'll get to in just a second, right? The people that are concerned about DRM, it's very small until it becomes a bigger problem, right? This is the scenario of my neighbor's house is on fire, but it's not affecting me type of thing. You're like, I don't want to help them, right? So I don't think a lot. I think people will just forget because it's that gift of Dave Chappelle where he's a crackhead and he's like scratching himself because gamers will throw everything out the window for the game that they want to play. And gamers have been waiting a really long time for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out. Now, the real question is, right, because I've been on record saying it will be the most pre-ordered game. It will be the most day one game, week one game, month one game, year one game. It's going to sell ridiculous copies, right? But the problem is, how are you going to get the people that just love the Grand Theft Auto Online? Because once the new Grand Theft Auto Online comes out, right? When the next Grand Theft Auto Online comes out, you got to get these people to move over here. How's that going to work? Right? Because remember, Grand Theft Auto Online is not an MMO or anything like that. But there's a lot of people that have a lot of time, a lot of stuff over there that they've spent money on. And just like PlayStation and Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s, 57%, 58%, and 47% haven't moved over to the new systems yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see how many people that are playing and love Grand Theft Auto Online, even though they're waiting for the next Grand Theft Auto, the game they're waiting for. But are they going to move over to the next Grand Theft Auto Online? It's going to be very interesting to see how fast they adapt over to the next one. Altered says, I want Soros to be broke at launch so they can discount the game 1 month after. That's the spirit. Asha says, I agree. But I rarely see games nowadays performing well from day one. Right. But that's the problem, right? We're so used and conditioned that games come out broke, buggy, and unfinished. Hence why we say don't buy day one. Don't buy day one or week one. Wait for them to earn your money. So when a game does come out, again, we shouldn't celebrate, hey, it's not broke, because that is the standard. It shouldn't be broke. Waterbear says, nevertheless, or Everness is out. It's similar to GTA with the open world, but how do you say that? Anata is GTA 1. Worked there for 6 months, and they try to steal your overtime. Well, that's any business. They're like, hey, we can't really pay you overtime, but you can come in. Can you come in on Saturday? Yeah, it'd be great if you could come. Lumberg? Yeah, it'd be great if you could come in on Saturday, Peter. That'd be great. Let's see. Asha said, I might have misread the room. I just opened the stream and thought you were making fun of journalists shot the developer. Dev patched their game quick, so I thought it was no. Yeah, okay. So we were making fun of it. We were making fun of there was an article written about Pearl Abyss, right? Because they were updating the game so fast, right? They were updating the game so fast that one of the articles written, it was a girl. I forget her name. I was like Molly, I think. She was like, has anyone checked on the developers? Because they weren't used to getting their game fixed so fast. They're waiting 6, 8, 12 months, 24 months, right? So they were worried. They're like, has someone checked in on? Because since the game dropped, they've updated the patch 3 times. Has anyone checked? And it wasn't like she was being facetious. She was literally like, has anyone checked on them? Are they working? Have they had a day off? Right? Meanwhile, it just came out that they gave them bonuses, like $3,500 bonuses and stuff like that, because the game is doing so well. Can you just imagine walking around like the guy who's cutting your lawn that you have no interaction with? You look up to him and you're like, hey, you okay? Did your boss give you a day off? You okay cutting my grass? Here, let me take that from you. I don't want you guys to worry and like, they're doing their job. Just let them be, right? As a customer, I don't care what they're doing, okay? As long as they're not have like child labor laws and they're like whipping them and stuff, and they're just making a video game. If there's not something against the law going on, let them be. Let them make a game. Stop interrupting them, trying to figure out if they have a cappuccino machine. Are they being overworked? That's what upper management's for. That's what the companies are for. And if the employee is being overworked, they should say something, not a reporter going, the game's getting updated too quickly. Has anyone checked on these guys? This is unheard of. They fixed their game. All right, let's go to this Twitter report here. This Twitter by Renz Elliott. He says, Here's some Xbox games that sold over 100,000 copies on PlayStation. I showed you the list, right? And we'll show you more. Okay, it says here's some Xbox games sold over 100,000 copies on PlayStation of analytics. Okay, estimates. 13 first-party Xbox titles have now cleared 100,000 units unit milestone on PlayStation. Collectively, they generated $667 million in gross revenue from Microsoft, as per our estimates. Okay, I have a question. Where's Call of Duty? Now, I understand Call of Duty is cross-platform anyway, but where is Call of Duty? Call of Duty is a Microsoft game, and how come that's not up there? I think this chart's a little biased going on here. Analytics doesn't include, doesn't include Call of Duty. We also excluded titles from acquired studios that were also released on PlayStation before Microsoft ownership, as well as legacy contractual obligations like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Well, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop were way before. Call of Duty was... All right, anyway, that would sway that number big time. We also divided it into a list deeper over our free Substack, link in the bio, but here's a couple of highlights. Forza Horizon 5, which launched on PlayStation 5 last year, 3.5 years after Xbox PC version. It was 4 years, wasn't it? Accounts as almost half of these revenues at $323 million. 5.8 million copies sold. Sea of Thieves is also doing well on PlayStation as one of the first titles in the initial porting strategy. It has moved 2.7 million copies on the platform and generated over $100 million there. It's also where they've shown impressive long-term retention, bringing in 300,000 monthly active users, MAUs, on PlayStation 5. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has moved 537 units, or 1,000 units, on PlayStation 5, generating $37 million in revenue, roughly 1 year after it launched. Released on Sony's hardware just 4 months after it debuted, Xbox debut. The title has also outsold its Steam counterpart. Meanwhile, Ninja Gaiden 4 and Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 have both surpassed 250,000 units on PlayStation 5, which also each title nearing 20 million in PlayStation 5 gross revenue. While Starfield sales have continued to trickle in after its tepid PlayStation 5 launch a couple weeks back, now passing 200,000. It is true. Eclipse brought it up earlier, right? You know, it's still broke, 207,000. It's pretty impressive for a couple of weeks, right? I said, I'm on record, I said it would sell anywhere between 2 and 3 million copies when all said and done, right? When all said and done. So there you go. We already looked at this list. Here you go. You can look at it again. It says 667 million gross revenue generated by these games on PlayStation 5, including Sony's revenue cut. Right now, there are people, which I think is funny. If you go down here in the comment section, it says, "Nah, they're selling like crap. Not even worth the port." How do you know that? How would you know if it's worth the port or not? Okay, they've already made their money back. They're like, all right, they have a small team putting a port over. They think the port costs as much as the actual game when they made the game. Here it says that's not true at all. Forza Horizon 5 sold more copies before release at $100 than it did on the PlayStation 5. It says here, Microsoft needed to quit releasing games day and date on Game Pass. That would also significantly help. Not if your business plan is to get people on Game Pass. I think people keep forgetting that, right? Game Pass is their plan. They don't want you to buy their games. You guys understand that, right? They don't want you to buy the games. If you buy the game, fantastic. They got you, right? You're paying more for that thing. They want you to pay the smaller fee to get that recurring revenue every month. That's what they want. The average person gets 2 to 3 games a year. But if you get Game Pass for the entire year, you're getting that 2 to 3 games, and you get microtransactions, you get other things. They get you in that cycle because you're going to... The more that you're playing games, the more likely you are to buy a microtransaction. And if you're paying more games on microtransactions, or if you're playing Sea of Thieves, for instance, right? Why wouldn't you buy Sea of Thieves? Why would you pay a monthly fee for Sea of Thieves like it's an MMO every month just to play Sea of Thieves? Right? You would buy Sea of Thieves outright, $40, instead of playing Sea of Thieves for $30 or $23 a month to play on Ultimate. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They want people... We've talked about this in the past. Gyms, any kind of subscription service wants you to forget that you're paying for the thing so they get that recurring revenue, because the company is doing bare minimum, minimal viable product to get the most out of that money. Right? They could sell you a game for $60, but if they can get $23 now out of you, $20 before out of you, they don't need you for 3 months. If the average person is only buying 1 to 2 games, they don't need you there for 3 months. Not consecutive, just 3 months total of the year. Right? And if they come out with 4 games, first-party title games, and they're like, hey, does this interest you? No? What about these third-party games that we have? Right? That's what they're trying to entice you with. They're trying to entice you for Game Pass. It says only the pre-sales of Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox sold more than the total sales on PlayStation 5. It's very true. So, Jesse Mack says, did you buy a Spider-Man 2 on PC port? This is why they're having problems. The port there was bad. There's a lot of ports that are bad. Let's see. Alternate says 007. Is that bad? We're going to watch a HCG thing about the 007. Sarge says they can't get you, but the game, they want you on their service. People buying actual game or the cherry on the subscription cake. Yeah, if you buy, here's the best part. Ready? If you have Game Pass, because you have Game Pass, and then you want to buy, you're like, you know what? I like this game. I don't want to do my subscription model anymore. I like this game. I'm going to purchase the game. They give you a discount. They're like, well, we'll give you 20, 25% discount on that game now. Now you can own it. Own it. Right? Right? So not only did you get the service, but now you cancel your service, but now because you had the service, then you get a discount of that game. Then there's people that don't own the game, like a Minecraft, right? Or a Forza, but they buy the DLCs, right? So now there's people playing the game on Game Pass, but they want to play the DLCs. To play the DLCs, that's not part of Game Pass. The main game is part of Game Pass. So now if you want to play like Minecraft Dungeons DLC, Forza DLC, or any other game that they have DLC for, paid DLC, you buy the DLC. So let's say you don't own Starfield. You played Starfield, now you bought the Shattered Space, you buy the other one because it's out. You spent $20, $30 just on the DLC now. Now you're like, oh, well, I stopped playing, but I own the DLC. Now you own DLC, but you don't own the game. Well, guess what? Those people are like, well, I guess I'll buy the game. Kraken says they want you owning nothing and being happy. Jesse Mack says, just the critics, they love broken, buggy games. Though that's hilarious. Asher says that's what's Office 2.0. I think you can't buy Office. At the end of the goal is the Game Pass is probably renting games forever. We might soon be ripped away from the ability to buy said games. Well, that is the problem. And actually, that's a great segue. That's a great segue into the next conversation, which we're going to have, which is about the PlayStation. Now, PlayStation came out 5 days ago because it was broke, or it broke, not it's broke, that PlayStation has DRM. And people started blowing it out of proportion. Now, on my stream since Monday, people were talking in absolutes. They're saying, well, this is what it is. They're taking your games away from you. I said, that's not official, right? And then other people are saying that this is what it is. I'm like, that's not official either, right? I said, until Sony comes out, if they ever come out, which they did come out. They did say something. It's only a sentence or two, but they did say something, right? And what the problem is about people is that they're like, oh, see, they're not taking your games away from you. But I give you Exhibit A. Back in the day when Bethesda said, hey, here's a $2 horse armor, there was nobody in the world that was like, that's the start of it, right? That's the start of the downfall of microtransactions in video games. We're now $25, $500, $40,000 for a microtransaction in video games, okay? So 13 years ago, right? 13 years ago, Xbox tried to do this. Don Matrick, okay, came out and said, here is the DRM. And everyone was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're like, well, if you don't like it, then you could just go buy a, that's why we still have the 360. Hello? Like, tone deaf. 5 months afterwards, he was gone. 5 months? 5 weeks. I forget. There's a 5 there, right? He was gone. And that's when Phil Spencer came in. Phil Spencer was handed a lump of shit and said, here you go, right? This is why Phil Spencer's on record saying that we lost the console war during the Xbox One, right? It's very hard to get it back. They completely tarnished what Xbox was back then, okay? 13 years ago. So Xbox has been suffering since that time. Now people, again, fanboys like to protect stuff, right? And as you're saying, right, as you said here, like just like Office, maybe you'll be renting games forever because that's what they want. They want you to rent games. They don't want you to buy games. There'll still be an option there just in case you want to. But just in case there is, it's digital. So they could do whatever they want with it, right? And then here's where this comes in. Now, sure, PlayStation's not taking your games away from you, but you have to check in, right? So here, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5, right? So PlayStation users report new online license checks, but Sony quills concerns. Okay, the problem appears to be affecting both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games purchased after March 2026. Now remember, just in 5 days, people have said, well, it's a glitch. Then it became that it's not a glitch. Then it became that there's an error going on. Then people said it's not real. Then people said it was real. And now people are saying, see, it was all for nothing. No. You don't get to fucking do that. Okay? You don't just get to hand wave and say it's nothing. This is something. This is a Trojan horse. This was put into the system without saying anything. And everyone's like, well, no, the TOS, right? This is something that was updated. And they just kind of said, oh, don't worry about it. Now they're telling you it's because of jailbreak, but we don't know that for sure because that wasn't a statement from them. That was what people were thinking of, right? Then other people were saying, oh, it's just because of whatever, right? No, but that wasn't true either. So if you guys like what I do, we do this, like I said, Monday through Thursday. We're going to read the article, give you my thoughts and opinions, and then we get your thoughts and opinions as well. So the problem appears to be affecting both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games purchased after March 2026. A new query has begun affecting PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 owners with digital game purchases. It appears that the system's latest updates have introduced a 30-day online license check for digital games, leaving those who have extended internet outages without access to certain games. However, Sony has clarified exactly how it works, and it seems like most players have nothing to worry about. But why? Why are they doing this? I would like to know, why are they doing this? Several users, including the game accessibility Twitter account, Does It Play, have reported that the new PlayStation Store purchases, those made before March 2026, appear to be unaffected. Feature a 30-day timer that shows when you will need to connect to the internet again before losing access. Okay, this timer doesn't appear to be visible on the PlayStation 5, but according to It Does Play, he says it's still being tracked in the background. Okay, what I always find funny is someone says this is a glitch. Okay, if this is a glitch, then why is there a code, right? Why is there a code on the screen of a glitch to show you, right? To show you, oh, look, it's there's the start time, there's the end date, this is the exact time left. If it was a glitch, you wouldn't have any of this. It would just be, oops, I don't know how that got in there. But obviously they programmed it in here to tell you what the start time is, the end date is, and how much time is left in the thing. And the question is, why? Right? So while unlikely to be a tangible issue for most players, there are definitely use cases that could see PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 disconnect from the internet for extended periods of time. According to a statement, Does It Play? Gave to Kotaku, the license check may be been introduced to combat refund scams. Now, I love this. The license check may have been introduced because of refund scams, but we also designed to convert into unlimited license afterwards. This appears to be the case with Sony Online Entertainment spokesperson telling the GameSpot the following. Now, this is all Sony has said. Sony hasn't said anything else. This is official from Sony. So all the other things that are coming from other people, what's happening and what's not happening, okay, this is the sentence, two sentences. Actually, it's two sentences, okay? Quote, players can continue to access and play their purchase games as usual. A one-time online check is required to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-ins are required. Great. Now my question is, why? Because that is not saying we're doing this because of the combat refund scams. That's not saying we're doing this because of jailbreak PlayStation 4s because of the Star Wars game. That's not saying anything but exactly what it says. Let me read it for you again. Let me make it nice and big for people so we can see what it is, right? Players can continue to access and play their purchase games as usual. That's a hand wave of going, it's not a big deal. Just log in like you do normal. Nothing changes. Well, something did change. You put something in the game system, a Trojan horse, to then tie me to my proof of me buying the game is me buying the game, right? There's a paper trail. User, credit card attached to this user. User bought this. If user didn't use credit card, user used gift card. If user didn't use gift card, it was gifted by someone else. There is a paper trail to tell you that 30NSG bought this game off of this thing. This is his. This is his game. He owns this game. Why do I have to check in? Why do I have to check in 14 days? Why do I have to 14 days to get to 30 days? And then after that, I never have to check in again, but I have to check in. Why? It doesn't tell you why. It says a one-time online check is required. Why? Why is it required? To confirm the game's license. Why? Why is it required? If I have an account with you, I've made a PlayStation account with you, I have a credit card on file with you, I've purchased the game through the stores that you wanted me to purchase it on, why do I have to check in? Why do people that are customers have to check in when they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is being a good little fanboy and just buy the game, right? Hey, I'm interested in the game. Buy the game. Now they're like, nope, you got to check in once. Why? Right? They didn't say this because of jailbreak. They didn't say because of whatever else. This is it. Again, one more time. Players can continue to access and play their purchase games as usual. A one-time online check is required to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-ins required. Nobody asks questions. Nobody asks questions. Just take it as is, which is, see, PlayStation's not doing anything nefarious. They have patents for biometric stuff, fingerprint, eye scan, face scan, right? Then those people will move the goalpost. They'll be like, oh, well, you do it for Apple. Oh, well, Xbox was doing it over here. Oh, well, this person did it over here. Great, we're not talking about them. And when they did that, we did talk about them. Now it's this people's turns. All right, Sony's doing this. Why? Why are you doing it? Those of you out there that don't want to ask questions and you just want to be fine with it, great. Check in, do it, buy it, whatever. You want this to change? If you cared, I said this last night. Fake Wizard invited me on his podcast last night. We talked about it. Stop buying something. I know. Soros just came out. Something else is coming out next week. Something else is coming out a month from now. All we have to do as customers is not buy the thing. I'm not telling you never to buy it, right? I'm not telling you not to buy it ever. I'm telling you to, if you want to be heard, if you care about this stuff, if you don't care, then you don't even care to speak here to defend them, because why? Why would you defend a corporation for what they're doing here? You wouldn't. It doesn't make sense to, right? So don't buy PlayStation Plus for 1 month. Don't get the game day one. Do not pre-order the game, right? Just for 1 month and watch how many changes happen. Do you know why Helldivers 2, they didn't have to sign in? Because people like me, because people like you that were like, we're not doing that. Why do I have to sign in when I've been playing the game for 3 months and we didn't have to make a PlayStation account, right? And PlayStation's like, all right, we hear you. We won't do it, right? If we didn't say something, they would be like, sign on the dotted line. You're like, nope, sorry, not playing your game. Do you see how things change when you do something? If you want to be complacent, then be complacent. But I'll be honest, don't come in here and be like, well, nothing's actually happening with PlayStation. Great. Sign the dotted line. Keep doing what you're doing. You're not part of the conversation. The people that are part of the conversation are angry about check-in. I don't care if it's Xbox. I don't care if it's Nintendo. I don't care if it's Sony. I don't care if it's Discord. Nobody wants this. And if you do want it, tell me why. Tell me why. Here you go, roadkill. Nothing's happening. Nothing like you guys were saying. I wasn't saying anything. You guys were all saying stuff, different things. I said, you can go back. I have proof of what I said. right? I said, you don't know if that's true. You don't know if that's true. Nobody knows anything is true. Everyone's just throwing out stuff for what it is. I said, until they come out and say something, which they have, which is highlighted here. What did they say, Roadkill? What did they say? Can you explain to me why I need a one-time check-in? Why? Why do I need a one-time check-in? Why do I need a check-in? What is the check-in for? They didn't tell us what the check-in was for. We're going to assume, right? Just like here, right? The license check may be introduced a combat refund. Maybe. Not official. But someone will run with that. Oh, no, it's because of the refund stuff. Is it? This doesn't say that. This doesn't say that. What is it? We still don't know. What's going on, Alien? Alien says, P.S. I clearly didn't learn anything from the whole Xbox DRM fiasco. Yeah. But this is what the Sony guys are saying now. They're like, well, did you see what Xbox did this first? First of all, not true, right? The first people to do this was Sony in the music industry in 2005. But it was no big deal then either. How else are you going to buy a game online without a check-in? With a receipt. I purchased it with my credit card that's on file, with my username that I signed up for a PlayStation account. What are we talking about? That is the check-in. If I have a user account and I have a credit card and I have to buy it online through their account, why do I have to check in? The fuck are we talking about? The refund policy had nothing to do with the Sony. Never said that. Never said you said that. Did I say you said that? Did I say Roadkill? Did you say that? No. That says it right here, my friend. Says it right here. Oh, look. Gave to Kotaku, the license check may have been introduced to combat refund scams. This is exactly it. See, you only hear what you want to hear. I've never said that this is what's happening. I only read the news. The news says things, and I give you my thoughts and opinions based on the news. I don't take what someone just says. I'm like, show me it. Show me it. You still haven't showed me the thing that you said the other day. You're like, well, it happened to me. Where's the proof? Show me what you're talking about. Show me what you're talking about, considering it didn't happen till after March.
30 talking about waiting. I waited to get the Switch 2. The initial issues with bans are fixed. I buy a lot of early access games because of this.
Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Right? Roadkill says, if you're online buying through the account, you're already checked in. What are you talking about? Roadkill, are you... What's happening right now, dude? What's happening right now? What does this say? Read it for yourself, because I've read it 5 times now, right? Now, say what you're saying, and I agree what you're saying. And if I have an account, why do I have to check in? Think about what you're saying now. Here, I'll read what you said. If you're online and buying it through their account, you already checked in. What are you talking about? That's exactly right. See, you're on the same page as me. So why do I have to check in now when I load up the game? Explain to me. Go ahead. If I already have an account and I already purchased the thing, that's a check-in. That's a check-in because I'm already part of your system. I'm in your system. I'm in your ecosystem. I'm buying your game. I have a credit card on file. I have whatever else. I'm buying the game. Check in. Boom. Purchased. You have a receipt? I do have a receipt. Here you go. You have it on file. Why do I have to check in that game? Racken says you've been buying a game online without checking in this whole time. What's the logic? I don't know. I know what the logic is, Kraken. See, here's the problem with Roadkill. I love Roadkill. But Roadkill is literally just saying shit because to say shit. He doesn't actually believe what he's saying. He's saying it because he just wants to have a back and forth. You don't have to check in when you're already checked in. Sorry, read what the file says. Sorry, read it again. Right? Players can continue to access and play their purchased games as usual. A one-time online check-in is required to confirm the game license, after with further check-ins are required. No further check-ins are required. You buy the game, that's not the check-in, my friend. When you log in the game, that is the check-in. If I buy a game and wait 2 months to play it because I have a backlog of stuff, I have to check in 2 months from now when I first put it in the thing. Roadkill says, yeah, you don't have to check in when you load up the game. It's a one-time check. You're just making up stuff now. You're literally making up stuff. They say you have to do a one-time check-in. If I buy it, is not the check-in. It's when you log into the game, they're saying, hey, does this person own the game? And if you take that game and now log it into another PlayStation, it's going to ask you again. So let's say you own 2 PlayStations, right? Let's say you own 2 PlayStations. You play your game over here. Now you log into your other system in your vacation home, right? At someone else's house. Okay? It's going to ask you, hey, can you check in? But if it's my account's already logged into it, it's making sure that you're not stealing the thing for whatever reason. They don't tell you why they're doing the online check-in. See, you have a problem is like there's no problem with it. This is the problem. The problem is, why do I have to check in? This is the first step of, because it becomes, well, it's just a one-time check-in, right? Then it's we have a fingerprint scan on the controller, right? Then it's just face scan recognition, so we know you're the user of the box, right? Like all of these things, it's just one step closer, and these are all things that they have patents for, by the way. Jesse Mack says 30. It's probably their secondary security system to check in, the 2 check-in, so 2 identification check-in thing. 30. To be fair, if you're smart, you aren't putting your CC on Sony's website. Use your card's alternative buying methods because you're going to lose that CC. Of course. But still, if you have a thing already you have your PlayStation ID. That's your gamer tag. That is your ID. That is your check-in. Regardless, if my son's on that account, am I on that account? That's the account. We have an account with you. Roadkill says, man, I'm trying to finish the tile kitchen floor today. You got me going. Listen, you don't have to type. Right? You're literally just spewing stuff. You're agreeing with me, but yet disagreeing with me. You're like, you don't have to check in if you buy it. Wrong. You buying it is not the check-in. You buying it is not the check-in. You logging into the game is the check-in. It's not a glitch like people said. It's not an error like people said. Right? And then when they did come out and say it, this is all they said. And this doesn't say anything. Doesn't say anything. Why? I have a question with this part right here. A one-time check-in is required. Why? Why? If you don't have a problem with it, and I mean this in the most polite way possible, I really do, because people are going to be here and they're new and they're going to be like, this guy's an asshole. And you're right, I am an asshole. But I mean this in the most polite way. If you don't care about what they're doing, then shut up. Because if you don't care, then why are you even in the conversation? You should care. You should be asking questions why I need to check in. And again, this is not a Sony thing. I'm not against Sony. I'm against the situation of DRM, of the check-in, right? Has nothing to do with Sony. It has everything to do with the industry. Nintendo, Xbox, Steam, Discord, Netflix, whatever. All of these companies want as much information from you as possible when all they have to do is sell the fucking product. How many? Here's a great example. When you go buy an appliance, when you go buy something at Best Buy, when you go against Target or something, and they like, hey, do you want to receive our emails for our mailing list? You guys, no, I don't want that, right? Oh, do you want the warranty? No, I don't want that, right? You don't want to sign up for those things. Why? Because you don't want more shit junk coming in your email or getting mailed to. You're like, why do you need that? You don't want any of that. But for some reason, gamers are like, well, yeah, I got to play the game. I got to play it. What? You want my routing number? There you go. Eye scan, right? Thumbprint, pissing in the controller, right? Like, everyone's just like, it's not a big deal. Okay. If you don't think it's a big deal, Shut up, sit in the corner, play your game. The rest of us are going to talk about it. Here, you know what? I'm going to bring up a video. I'm going to bring up a video real fast. I got to find it because, right? Demian had a video yesterday. I don't have it on this account. Hold on one second. And he brings up the Sony event from 13 years ago after Xbox did their bullshit with the DRM stuff. Okay. All right. He brings this up. Let me see if I can find it. I guess I'll have to. Is it Edemion? I forget how to spell his name. I'm not subscribed to him. Oh, for God's sakes. It's E, right? Edemion? Is it E-D-I? Shut up, Travis. You have no, like seriously. Like, you have no idea what the video is about or anything like that. No, that's not him. Maybe it is on my other account. Sony has fought hard. Sony has fought hard for priority of DVD and Blu-ray. Sony was also getting paid for every disc, no matter what platform, so other companies figured out digital. Sony has been doing this stuff all the way back since 2005 with the music industry and stuff. I got it. Endymion.
Look, I grew up with PlayStation.
Okay. Let me see if I can find the... Okay. So this is the PlayStation conference. This is PlayStation's rebuttal to what Xbox did 13 years ago. Okay? That's what this is, right? So I'm going to show you. This is from Endymion's channel, okay? So he shows this clip of PlayStation from 13 years ago. This is what they said after Xbox did the whole thing of DRM stuff, okay?
Most, without imposing restrictions or devaluing their PS4 purchases. For instance, PlayStation 4 won't impose any new restrictions on the use of PS4 game discs.
No restrictions, right? This right here is a restriction, right? It's a one-time sign-in, just a one-time sign-in. Listen to the crowd, right? Because before this, they were also about the DRM stuff, right? And they're like, oh, well, Xbox did this. We can't do what they did. So they came out and said, yeah, no, if you want to do this, we're not going to limit you to what you can do, right? We're never going to do a check-in. Listen to that crowd. That's like a celebrity just came on stage just because of what he said.
Guess that's a good thing. We believe in the model that people embrace today with PlayStation 3 and continue to demand. Just heard you there. When a gamer buys a PS4 disc, they have the rights to use that copy of the game. They can trade in the game at retail, sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever.
This is the same company, right? This is the same company that said this 13 years ago after Xbox did the DRM stuff. Because they know it's bullshit, and they're like, well, this is what people want. Right. On the screen it says disc-based games, right?
In addition, PlayStation 4 disc-based games don't need to be connected online to play.
That's amazing, right?
Or for any type of authentication.
Or any type of authentication. Here we are, 13 years later.
If you enjoy playing single-player games offline, PS4 won't require you to check in online periodically.
What a difference, huh? What a difference.
So what you just saw.
Right? So I think is there another clip? I don't think there's another clip. No, that's it. Okay? See, now Travis looks more stupid because we only brought up Edemion's video, even though he's talking about grifting, and it was just about a video about Sony. So there you go. Right? So 13 years ago, Sony says these things. And now you're checking in. But it's only a check. It's only a one-time. It's only a one-time check-in. It's only a one-time check-in. Don't worry about it, guys. It's not a big deal. Okay, real quick, let me add Edemion's video to the description. Travis, you don't even watch the stuff. You have no idea what you're saying. You're just saying it because you think the words matter, what you're saying on stream right now. I don't know if you didn't sleep enough last night or what you're doing. You're literally just saying shit. I know we're talking about Sony and you're upset. I know. Saint says that was so long ago, though. I didn't expect jokes. See if I look correct, because the grifter, anything is attached, he's grifting. Well said. He's not grifting. There's no grifting there. There's no grifting. Zero grifting there. Literally just showing you a video. Like, zero grifting. Yeah, can't talk bad about parents. Don't talk about daddy. Don't talk about daddy. All right, so again, they didn't answer why you have to check in, but you got to check in. So make sure you guys check in. Oh, by the way, we're implementing if every 10 minutes, if you could just check in, guys. Just check in, okay? Just a one time every 10 minutes. It's just one time every 10 minutes. And you talking is not checking in. You have to specifically check in, right? Make sure you guys check in. Oh, man. All right. The next thing we're going to watch is ACG 007 First Light. Here, this is how easy it is to make changes. Are you ready, Travis? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay. We're gonna give you a little cool down period, okay? Because you're getting a little rowdy. You're getting a little rowdy. And this is how stuff gets done, because people actually do something, because you speak up. Right? So you're gonna get timed out. Just timed out. We'll put you on a 10-minute timer, okay? There you go. Yeah, Blocky, thanks for checking in. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to watch ACG. ACG has a, what's it called? He's got a video about a preview about James Bond, right? I'm on the fence about James Bond. I'm not going to get it day one. Straight up. Not going to get it. Not interested in the game that much, but I do know there's people that are interested in it. ACG does really good previews and reviews. So we're going to watch his video. Okay. Haven't watched it myself. Maybe it'll sell you. Maybe it won't sell you. Maybe you'll look at something and go, nah, I'm good, right? But we're going to watch it. He's pretty straightforward. He's a straight shooter when it comes to just telling you about the video game. All right, here we go.
James Bond Purgatory. It's IO Interactive. Finally dropped.
Let's start it again.
If anything can get us out of 14 years of James Bond purgatory, it's IO Interactive. Finally dropping what looks to be a goddamn James Bond game that might be.
To answer your question, Blocky, no, I'm 167 hours in. Took my sweet time. I'm about halfway through the map. We just got into the Crimson Desert area. I've been playing Windrose. I'm about 60 hours into that game. Yeah, I'm in chapter 9. Yeah.
Worth a damn. That is, if they can work through the trick shots and get through the difficulties of a game that hinges on an IP about disguises, spy work, globetrotting, and gunfights without feeling like a goddamn game mechanic blender set on for sure stirred. If Hitman's slot machine a consistent human ending continues, but in 007 form, I can't say a single bad thing about it. And from a developer who does these kind of games, their interviews and the footage, it looks like exactly what they have planned. As always, subscribe for more
Here's the thing. I posted in Discord yesterday, and me and Water were talking about, I was like, why would they make a James Bond game, like Hitman guys, right? Make a standalone James Bond game where it's a younger James Bond when they literally wanted to use Daniel Craig, right? And someone made a mod of Daniel Craig inside this. They made a James Bond mod for Hitman, right? And to me, that's what this is, right? To me, and again, I'm not trying to diminish what the developers are doing. I'm just looking at it going, this is not James Bond to me. Right? Again, I'm only speaking for myself. I like the concept. I like Hitman. Even when I played Hitman in the past, I was like, man, this would be great if it was James Bond, right? Someone made a mod of James Bond. I haven't played it, but I look at this and I'm like, this is not James Bond. And it feels like you're playing on a movie set. And Water said this yesterday in Discord. He's like, yeah, it feels like an Uncharted type of stuff. And if you like Uncharted, which I do, I liked Uncharted. I like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. But this even feels a little bit more. It's like, everything feels like you're on a movie set. And it's like when you get to this point, all right, blow the barrels. You know what I mean? Like, and the barrels shoot and explode. It's like Michael Bay type of stuff. And I get it. It's a video game. It's supposed to be entertaining and stuff. But it kind of pulls me out of it where I don't want to pay full price for this game.
Views and reviews. 007 First Light's coming out May 27th from the studio that's basically perfected the art of assassination sim with the Hitman games. As always, I don't have time for all the marketing bullshit. You are ready for a game, and that's what we're going to talk about right now.
And this is why I like ACG, right? Screw the marketing stuff. The marketing just is marketing. Get you hyped. He's going to tell you, he's going to talk about the game.
Right now. When you think back on it, it's actually hard to argue that anything other than IO Interactive would have made sense for a game like this. The same Danish wizards who've been meticulously crafting perfect sandbox assassination games for decades actually sat down with Eon Productions and Amazon MGM Studios and said, you know what? We can do better than all the other action-oriented Bond games Activision shat out. The game's been developing since way back in like November 2020. At least that's when they first announced it during a live stream, which was basically them being just like the main character, telling everybody who they are and what they're doing. Now, this is a full origin story, so sadly, no aged Pierce Brosnan love rug chest hair going on, just a fresh-faced Bond starting out as some reckless neighbor.
Which might sell you, right? It might sell you because it's a new Bond, and there is that no connection. Just Bond's name itself is the connection, right? But we actually watched another video, and the writer kind of looks like the main character. I'm just saying.
Air crewman before that fucker Optimus primes himself and transforms into the world's most sophisticated secret agent. What's fascinating here is that IO has a particular approach that I think fits incredibly well for them, which is mix the past of what they know as well as flexibly moving out into the more action-oriented style of Bond, but at the same time making it their own digital Bond, a completely original interpretation that doesn't lean on really any one cinematic performance.
And that might be the thing that pulls it over the edge, right? It also might be the thing that doesn't. And let me explain. Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws, right? Star Wars Outlaws is a brand new character, K-Vess. I know it's a completely different company, but it's in the Star Wars universe, right? Brand new story. And people could look at that and go, oh, it was great. It was awesome. It was amazing. But would it have been better if it was someone that you knew? If it was Han Solo and Chewbacca that you were doing the adventures with, right? Hindsight's 2020. You look at it and go, maybe it would have sold more if it was something that we knew. You could look at it the same way with this IP, right? James Bond, very well known, right? So many different Bonds, right? Would it have been cool if they did something with an actual James Bond, one of the James Bond characters? If it was Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Craig Dan. And originally they wanted to use Craig, but it probably cost way too much, I'll be honest with you, right? They could have told a story with one of them in this, but instead they chose to do a brand new James Bond.
From any other actor. As the developers have actually stated, the Bond that they have is not the tuxedo Bond, the classy Bond with the martini and so on. He's young. He's not the suit guy yet. He's a bit of a rough chap, a work in progress, you might say. And let's cut some of the bullshit out right here. Daniel Craig's Bond was a fucking mess half the time, and so this won't.
I agree. We had this conversation yesterday, didn't we, Water? Right? I said 2 of the 5 films were good, right? 3 of the films were just garbage.
Actually be, despite the company's odd verbal antics, the first Bond to be learning on the job, but it'll be the first one we get to play as they're on the job. And to me, that's actually quite exciting. Speaking of learning on the job, the game starts out after some action antics with Bond, and he gets recruited into MI6 and then jumps into the classic Bond stuff, rolling around with rogue agents, global conspiracies, and hopefully 1 or 2 hotties. Let's talk about what really matters, though, the gameplay, which
I'm the same, GDC or GDP, right? Exact same. I'm interested, but I'm not getting it day one. This will be a game I pick up 6, 8, 10 year later. I'll be like, you know what? I'll play that game, right? This is not a full price game for me. It might be amazing. It might be fantastic for people, but I look at it and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna hold off. But I'm showing this because maybe people want to know more about it and they might be hyped for it. So we're getting more information for people that want to maybe play it.
IO is not really just transplanting the Hitman mechanics into the game, though they are doing that. They are thankfully not doing that when it comes to the shooting, which was never that good in Hitman. The core philosophy here, though, is what they call the creative approach to Bond and how he plays, basically meaning you can tackle objectives really however the hell you want, pure stealth, all-out action, or some unholy combination of it all. This is where they are trying to make sure that their experience shines because they've spent years perfecting the art of letting players.
Do you I'm nitpicking here. I'm nitpicking. I don't mean this to, it'd be like, this game's fucking stupid in any way, shape, or form.
Trying
Do
to
you
make sure
know
that
how
their
hard
experience shines.
you have to throw
because they
somebody
spent
up against a fire extinguisher to make it explode? Right? Like, that's a fire extinguisher, right? You didn't put a bullet to it. You put the dude's head to the container. If fire extinguishers were this delicate, they wouldn't be just hanging on the wall.
Perfecting the art of letting players solve problems creatively, but also they perfected the ability to consistently show that whenever Hitman grabbed guns, the excellence turned into excrement pretty fast, and they know that weakness and they're working on it for this. Where Bond's different in that he can, and I'm sure when I'm playing him, will use firearms and fights better than a restless sloth like Hitman did. The idea is to mix those two together and give a character that feels more well-rounded, even if far younger than Agent 47, and I love the idea. This also gives them the ability to spread their wings a bit and bring the gunplay up.
You see what I'm saying as far as a, like, I didn't say on the rails before, but I've said this in the past, like on the rails movie set. Do you know what I mean? Again, Water Bear pointed out like an Uncharted type of stuff.
To the excellence of what we see in other titles, but also to the feeling to where it's equal to the actual spycraft and assassination of the Hitman games. Speaking of some of the spy work, the game's got more than the Hitman games did and always is going to lean into the Bond styling throughout, from eavesdropping on conversations, pickpocketing vital items, inspecting environments for hidden clues. This is all kind of deep espionage gameplay.
I just love all the explosion stuff. People are making fun of the, jump up here with the yellow paint on it, right? Red barrels, shoot the red barrels.
That's going to hopefully make you feel more like a proper intelligence operative versus a dude who has great hair and forgets that telling everybody his name like every fucking 12 minutes isn't the best way to stay hidden. And using those gadgets as well as just your overall...
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Ability rolls into this new thing called instinct, which is basically Io's way of giving Bond the uncanny ability to think on his feet.
Let's put a whole bunch of guys on the screen that if you had to kill each one would be... So let's put barrels and just kill all the guys, right?
One up everybody that he's against. And the more difference that we can feel here between Hitman, I think the better. The up-close combat looks equal parts Bondish and a bit bullish. There's some dynamic takedowns, throws, parries. They all
some of the fighting looks cool. It looks... I'll be honest, if you told me this is Born Identity, I had this conversation yesterday as well, because everything's in the modern day, Born Identity, Mission Impossible, James Bond, they all kind of just blend together.
Fairly weighty and overly cinematic, but that's what they're aiming for. Bond can use the environment to his advantage. You can launch himself off walkways, use enemies as human shields, and generally cause all sorts of beautifully choreographed mayhem and destruction. When focus is activated, which is basically bullet time, the action all slows down to a crawl as well, letting you pick off targets with more surgical precision. And of course, blow up everything that's probably red in the level when it comes to barrels.
Of course. Oh, John Wick, by the way. That's a John Wick scene.
You can also lure enemies into vulnerable positions. You can bluff your way out of suspicion when you're being spotted, or sharpen your focus for precision shots. It's a kind of feature that makes it feel a little bit like Bond and the quick thinking and adaptability that you expect from a character like that, but still allows for us to jump in and actually play it without a sort of breaking. Now, speaking of playing it, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about the gadgets themselves. We've seen some examples. We've seen Q Branch's tech woven into some of the gameplay moments, from hacking and cutting locks, creating distractions or incapacitating targets. Get a guard that won't move away from a door, dart that dude in the ass to make them start puking and get sick so that they stumble off and draw attention somewhere else so you can sneak in. Now,
I do like games like this, like Siphon Filter and stuff like that. Splinter Cell. I like the, sneaking around action type games. Like this game, if I was, I don't know, in my 30s, I'd probably be super excited about it. Me personally, right now, I'm just like, yeah, this is a $30 game. 30, maybe most 40.
of course, the game also has a license to kill system. This is where Bond doesn't just go blasting in right away from the start. Early in the game, of course, you're encouraged to use non-lethal takedowns and environmental advantages, but when enemies escalate to lethal force, Bond can do the same. I don't know how it's going to track the end results, but you can bet some kind of summary screen is also going to rate you on your general Bondness, from Sean Connery to Timothy Monogamy Dalton. Let's not forget the set pieces, because a Bond movie isn't a Bond movie without like 30 unique locations to go to and tell everybody who you are. The gameplay demos featured mid-speed chases through some countryside, some insane shootouts in airports, and Bond literally free-falling out of an airplane. That's one of the great things.
The thing about James Bond, what I didn't like about the Daniel Craig James Bond GDP, is that they made him... Like I said earlier, like a Jason Bourne / Mission Impossible type of stuff, right? Where the past Bonds, up until Daniel Craig took over, was sort of like sci-fi-ish, right? I think they call it like spy-fi, I think is what the genre is really called for James Bond, where it's like, it's real. Like in the 60s, it was real. In the 70s and 80s, it was real. But at the same time, it was also fiction by doing like stuff that it wasn't grounded in like reality. Do you know what I mean? Like so much so that there was so many spin-offs of what James Bond was, between cartoons, animation stuff, Get Smart, Inspector Gadget, Danger Mouse. There's another one I'm trying to think of, right? Where even Austin Powers makes fun of it, right? Where that's what it is. It didn't take itself too seriously, where Daniel Craig's James Bond was like set in reality. It wasn't this sci-fi type of thing.
Things about the Bond games that I've always loved, and Hitman did this as well, where they take you to just these unique locations, meeting unique people and killing them in completely unique ways. Except it always felt, as Agent 47, that whenever it came to guns, even the ballers, it just never felt perfectly right. And I think this is one of the perfect examples of a developer that just seems like their time's come for an idea. I love that process. Now, Patrick Gibson, who's fresh off Dexter Original Sin, is going to be Bond. And admittedly, I did call him James Bland when he was first shown, and thought that maybe he'd want some water stirred and not shaken. But the more I've seen of him, the more I actually sort of dig the way he looks. Lenny James plays Greenway, and he's going to be your mentor and a former 00 agent who his entire job is basically going to make sure that you don't go out there and get yourself friggin' killed. One place that actually interests me is the technical establishing that they're going to do with this game, because they are going out of their way to put more action in, more action set pieces. Now, it's coming out on the Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, 100% Water. In the movies, he was established as already established 00, so he's like in his mid-30s. Yeah, that's when every single James Bond was in their like mid-30s. This is like early 20s, mid-20s.
and the PC and PlayStation, but also the Nintendo Switch 2, that yes, it's been pushed farther out, but still it's coming out on it. And this is going to be on the Glacier engine. And it's going to really be up to this developer to see if they can get the flexibility from that engine built into the Switch 2 and exactly how over the top it's going to be on.
There is no, the people that they're casting for James Bond right now, the people that are the candidates for the new James Bond are in their mid-30s. It's not a young guy.
That
He might be in his mid-30s, the actual person, but they might be playing a younger person.
handheld system, but I'm sort of excited to see if they can do it, because I honestly think with a game like this, you can probably tone it down and deliver it on a portable system and have it still look absolutely awesome. Now, they've also been hinting that this could be the start of a Bond trilogy. Maybe it's a little too soon
Oh, of course, but don't put the cart before the horse, right? If it sells well, then yeah, sure.
to talk about it, but they've stated that the progression of James Bond and the narrative should be through multiple games, and that's their plan, especially if the game does well. They've even supposedly rejected some other licensed games specifically to do Bond. This was their idea, and it fit what they were doing with Agent 47. I also want to point out, I hope Agent 47 doesn't go away, because I love the Hitman games, and honestly, I think that because of the way stealth works and how few real stealth games we get, I really wouldn't mind these guys doing a Bond and then a Hitman and then a Bond and then a Hitman. And that might all sound amazing, but there are some questions here, and that's whether IO can balance that sort of...
Bond is basically like Batman films. Every time a new Batman comes out, it's a new Batman. It's standalone. They don't attach to each other, except for, I think it was the George Clooney one, or was it Val Kilmer? Like, I forget. I think Val Kilmer and George Clooney were like supposed to be the same Batman, if I'm not mistaken.
Signature Hitman sandbox approach with a more structured, action-oriented nature that is going to end up playing out in Bond. Can they create a game that feels both like a proper Bond adventure and a genuine IO interactive experience,
right,
but at the same time not hedged too close?
Right. That's a big thing, right? Because Hitman itself is like, oh man, that's just like James Bond. But now if James Bond's out and it's too close to Hitman, you're like, what's the difference besides Hitman? And you know what I mean? So hopefully there's a lot of differences, and what we've seen in the video footage and stuff like that, it does seem like more, but Hitman is also a stealth type of game.
From what we've seen so far...
Right, Ron says James Bond's just Hitman with nice hair.
The answer looks like...
Nice hair? Hair. Just hair in general.
Like they have a good approach to it and that they are aiming for it. We just have to see if it lands. Let's be real. After years of Bond games, ranging from mediocre to sort of terrible, we deserve a good one.
Sure.
We deserve a game that makes us feel like we're actually stepping into the shoes of the world's most famous secret agent, not just some generic soldier with a fancy suit. But where I think this could fall is the Hitman games have been excellent, but I don't see anyone really claiming that they had great gun combat. Fun sometimes, deadly other times, but the action in the Hitman games, even the more shooter-based kind of action games that we've got from the Hitman series, were never great. Who knows if that lack of experience is really going to end up dialing in a problem with Bond? I don't think it will. It looks like they've sort of got an idea of exactly what they want to deliver, but it is something to mention. Another thing to mention is the familiarity between the two titles. Now, from spycraft to fist fighting to puzzle work and most interestingly, a car chase, the car chase looked glacial. And in a game...
It does. It looks arcadey. I said this 7 months ago when we first looked at the stuff.
Mimicking a fiction where high-speed, high-octane, ball-stretching adrenal shots from high-speed chases to airplane dogfights to Roger Moore fighting bad guys who drove around on Husqvarna motorbikes with nails driven through their tires. You gotta absolutely nail the speed and the action. And honestly, that car chase, damn, it looked terrible. One thing to also point out is the modernization of Bond. Take this as you will. But they've been pretty open about stripping away some of the character's more dated traits, particularly the whole womanizing as a person.
Which, say what you want, womanizing or not, there's a, style to Bond, right? Little cocky, little sex factor there. You know what I mean? Like he's got this persona. You vary from that, and you're alienating a lot of people that are Bond fans.
Thing that's been baked into the franchise since Sean Connery first raised an eyebrow at anything in a dress. And look, nobody's going to sit here and pretend that certain Bond films haven't aged about as well as milk in a fucking radiator.
Sure.
But there's something unintentionally hilarious about a medium where you can literally snap a guy's neck and toss him off a balcony before breakfast, but God forbid the protagonist shoots a glance.
Exactly.
at someone across the bar. A 26-year-old recruited into a government assassination program being desensitized to violence is apparently fine, but a 26-year-old showing romantic interest in another adult.
Right. It's exactly right, right? Like what he just said, I don't even have to put anything to it. What ACG just said is like he could do this, but he can't do that. This is bad. He can snap people's necks, do all this stuff. This is okay. But talking down to a woman, it's not good.
All without like a 3-page consent form and a signed waiver from MI6 HR. Apparently, that's where we just drawn the line at moral corruption. It's actually particularly interesting when we look at current games out in the last couple of years where sexuality hasn't really been in any way, shape, or form bad, even aggressive sexuality between two girls, guy and a girl, guy and a guy. It's the same weird double standard that's been creeping through action entertainment for a while now, where 50 people in creative ways being killed is just good, clean fun, but any hint of sexuality is treated like a fucking biohazard. IO is playing it safe on this, but admittedly, when you look at what's going on with the characters on the screen and the actual portrayal of Bond, maybe this is just something that overall everybody feels is a safer bet.
Dude, that's terrible. Do you see what just happened there? See what just happened there?
The portrayal of Bond.
That man was taking a piss off the side.
Overall,
that man's taking a piss off the side, and Bond blows him up. Didn't even get to shake it. Just literally midstream fucking blew him up.
Everybody feels is a safer bet. I'm also a big fan of not really putting relationship shit in games. So to be honest, I'm not going to be missing this at all. I don't want to have to hit ABBA. Orgasm time. It's really not something.
Yeah, no, I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to do that in the game for sure. I don't think it needs to be Mass Effect where you're having sex with the girls in the game. You could always be like, you know, hey, do you want to go back? And it cuts to black and it comes out and he puts his jacket on and says, you know, call you later type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that would be fine.
That actually interests me when it comes to the action that I expect or hope from a Bond game. Bond show? Yeah, probably. But a Bond game, not so much. It's no big loss to me. We'll just have to see how it all dials in. But I do want to say this. What I've seen of the game looks cool. There's some familiarity there with Agent 47. You can definitely pick up on it. But when it comes down to it, I'm okay with that. I think IO Interactive is one of the perfect companies for this. It's really just dialed in where you see a company and you go, you know who I'd like to see make.
I agree with this. I think if a person had to make a James Bond game, I think IO is the correct studio to do it. I will say that.
Blank game and IO Interactive and Bond, it fits. Agent 47 has been a fantastic protagonist, and I got to tell you straight up, I don't want him to go away. I've got to meet the lead voice actor. He's a fantastic person, and I just love that weird sort of solid way in which he goes about everything, that sort of antiseptic environment that he has within those two ears, that he goes around the game world and just takes out people, the exclusive targets, all that. It's a blast. I would never want that to go away. But rubbing in a little action, at least on the gun side, and keeping in the assassination, but adding in some spycraft, this could be awesome. We'll just have to see. Again, coming out in May. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Check out the videos. Follow me on.
So there you go. ACG's video, link in the description down below. Like I said, I think it looks fine, good. It's a 7, right? Is it something I would pay full price for? I wouldn't, personally. Is it something I would pick up on sale? The most I would personally pay for this type of game, it's like a 10 to 15, maybe even 20 hour gameplay, about $40 for me, personally. Baby B says, I would honestly prefer an Austin Powers game. I mean, that might be good. A bit more of a like a South Park kind of humor type of thing. Well, maybe not South Park humor, but you know what I mean. Isn't the core character women want him and men want to be him? 100%. This is why it's a little weird to have a young Bond. Do you know what I mean? Because if you have a young Bond, like young guys looking up to be like, what, I want to be the guy who's not cool yet. Do you know what I mean? He's not debonair. He's not sly. I mean, if this is the prequel of what James Bond is, do people want to be him? I don't know. It all depends on how they write the character and what we've seen. Maybe. But when you think James Bond, you don't think young guy like this. And obviously they want to make a young character because they want to age him over time. If there is a 2 or 3 in the series, as he gets older, gets more experience, becomes maybe at the end of this game. I mean, it is called double oh 007 First Light. So maybe he doesn't even become 007. He's not a 007 in this game, probably. He becomes 007. Maybe he gets very at the end. And then maybe the sequel that comes out, he is 007. Because in the very beginning, right? The very beginning, when we saw the trailer, the playthrough, he's on a mission with 2 other people. Then something happens and he has to step up. So maybe he doesn't get that 007 moniker until later. In the game, obviously. Maybe in the second game, there's like a 15, 20-year jump. I don't think they would go that far. But, yeah, they definitely would do a jump. Roadkill says they should have made an old school Sean Connery Bond game. I kind of agree. Ron says Naked Gun DLC. Looks good at least. Not a $70 game. Crimson Desert has ruined that price tag for me, but I could pay 40 to 50. Yeah, I would say it's about, I'll give you 50. I'll give you 50. I don't think this is a must-have right now. But that's just me. I'm not telling you not to buy it now. I will tell you, hold off until actual reviews come out to see how it is. Don't just blindly buy it because you're like, oh, it's going to be awesome. If you're on the cusp, hence why I showed you this, right? If you're on the cusp and you're like, I don't know if I want to get it or not. His preview says he thinks it's going to be pretty good. Again, he didn't play it. It's just what he thinks. It's what I think. Just wait one day, right? If you're not a collector guy, you're not getting the box set or whatever, the $200 or $150 or whatever it is, and you're just getting the game. Just wait one day after it comes out. Wait for reviews to hit. See how it is. See if it's stable. See if it's not glitchy or buggy, and then make your choice. Jason says from Russia with Love game on PlayStation 2 was sick back in the day. This ain't 007 if there's no women being pursued. Right. Gotta flirt. Gotta say something, right? I haven't bought a game day one in almost 2 years since I started collecting gold and silver. Has it been that long since you've been doing that? The casting rumor of James Bond's cast is Callum Turner, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jacob Eldor. Isn't Aaron Taylor Johnson the guy who played he's played 2 characters in the Marvel films, right? He was the Hunter, Kraven, right? That's the guy who played Kraven. And he also played fucking Scarlet Witch's brother. I don't want him to play it, I'll be honest. I don't really think he's that good of an actor, I'll be honest with you. At least what I've seen him play. I don't know the other guys. Who's Callum Turner? Let me see who he is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like making fun of people's faces because obviously each their own. But I don't see him as Bond. He doesn't have that Bond look. What else has he been in? I don't think I've ever seen him in anything, so I don't know if he's a good actor or not. British actor born, or at least he's British. Born actor in London, 1990. Before acting, he modeled in companies, Reebok, Next, okay. Turner first gained fame for his role, 2016 film. Oh, Fantastic Beasts, and where he also okay. Wait a minute, is he the main guy? He's him? That's him? Oh, no. I was like, that's not him. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't look like him. What did he play? I was like, he is not the guy from Fantastic Beast. He doesn't look like Bond to me. Pedro Pascal. You shut your mouth, Ron. I swear to God, if Pedro Pascal gets casted as Bond, I am done watching movies forever. Pedro Pascal. I swear to God. Now this guy, I can see him. He seems like more of a Bond guy. He's an Australian actor, but can he play British? Can he act? Can he be British? Maybe. Ian Fleming is not the best looking dude. And this is the, he kind of is based Bond off of himself. Yeah. But come on. Based it off himself, then casted Sean Connery. Sean Connery was a sexy man. I don't care if you're gay or not. Okay? Sean Connery was a good-looking dude. He oozed. Like, you looked at him and you're like, fuck, I want to be him. Tom Hardy. What does Tom Hardy look like now? Does he look like what he looks like in when he was in Venom? Yeah. Sarge says Pedro couldn't catch a cold. Never mind a Bond girl. This is what I want to see. Are you ready? I want to see a really good, I don't know who they cast, but I want to see I just had her name. What's her, the blonde chick? Sydney Sweeney, Bond girl. Come on. Sydney Sweeney, Bond girl. 100%. All right, let's go to Twitter and see what's happening over on Twitter. Waterbear says Sydney Sweeney Bond girl would be box office by itself. I mean, look, she knows her role. She knows her role. Sarge says they made her a Bond girl. She could retire on promotions alone. Well, I don't care about all that, Aku. Just her herself would I think she's made to be a Bond girl. You know what I mean? Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, look at this. So, Wario64 is reporting. Nintendo Switch 2 is $362.25 on the Nintendo Store after buying enough gift card credit from Newegg. Okay, buy $500 Nintendo eShop gift cards, okay, for $402 on Newegg. Buy Switch 2 on Nintendo Store. Okay, e-gift shop card works on the Nintendo Store, $800 wallet limit. So you can get 2 Nintendo eShop $50 gift card, email delivered, $8. It's a $95 thing. So there you go. Oh, did you guys see? So people are talking about the new game mode in Marvel's Rivals. They say it's pretty boring. And there's 2 different modes. You can actually play the 6 characters from Avengers, or you can play all the other characters as well in a completely different mode. We know you have to work hard. Okay, Asha Sharma responds to her first Microsoft earnings call. No, we already read that. We already got that article. Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 6 returns and reimagined. So they're promoting Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 6. So this is what the map used to look like in Battlefield 4, and look, now they've updated it. Now they've got, that's a lot of, not very much work on the road since they right, there's the houses, and then there's the new houses. Right, so again, these are just old maps being reused in the new game. So there you go. If any of you guys are still playing Battlefield 6, there you go. You got some new stuff. The hell is this? All right. Are you guys buying this? I could see Dustin buying this. Dustin, you gonna buy this? So for when your gaming setup needs more, there you go. You can get a. There you go. You think my wife would let me have that? I don't know. What is that? Oh, that's the new car racing sim that I got. Get it out of the house now. What is Nintendo, or not Nintendo, what is Star Wars doing? Star Wars, May 4th, is going to be like a throw-up fest of everything and anything Star Wars. Chairs, shoes, games, Monopoly. Right? Like, they're doing everything and anything. Winrose now sold 1.5 million copies. You see how easy that is to just say it? Marathon hasn't done this yet. Marathon hasn't come out and said how much they sold. Why? Why not? They should be excited for all the people they have playing Marathon. Winrose sold 1.5. Early access. Are you guys interested in this? Hold on. I got to lower the volume. Are you guys interested in this? I want to be interested in this. This is Galactic Racing, right? The pod racing. I feel like there's no depth to the game, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're just racing and then you win, and what are you leveling up? What are you doing? I got to see more gameplay of this. 30-40 max, you would buy it? I feel like if there's stuff to upgrade to make it faster, and you're adding stuff to it, like think of it as like Forza or Gran Turismo, where you're adding parts to make your racer better. You know what I mean? If it's something like that, then maybe. If it's just pick it and race, like I'm doing like Mario Kart, not so much. I don't know. I feel like you have to go to the next bar. I don't want a kart. That's a kart racing game if that's what it is. I don't want a kart racing game. I want something that's got a little bit more depth to it. Sony released a statement. We already read that. It still hasn't said anything. Yeah, this is also true, but did they backtrack? This is interesting. They did say this. So Sony released a statement regarding the PlayStation, which we talked about earlier. Okay, Bounty in the Comics is asking a question because he says, "Are they backpedaling?" Question. I thought they said after you checking in, the 30-day timer resets, which they did because the chat bot or whoever answered said that. Also, someone chatted with PlayStation support who said you'll need to connect once every 30 days. Now, did they backtrack? Maybe. And if they did backtrack, and now it's just a one-time check-in, it's because people bitched about it. Sarge says, how far have you fallen where you have to settle on Star Wars racing game because you're terrified to sell anything else? Mr. Z says, bitched about what? The DRM stuff. Z. Oh, I see. You're being funny. Uh-oh. Lisa Kudrow said that Friends writers were horny, harsh, and way out of line. I mean, hindsight's 2020. How much did you get paid per episode the last season? And now you're complaining? Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I always love that. Now that I'm a millionaire, I would like to complain about the work circumstances that were back then when I didn't want to complain. And now that I'm retired and I can't get work, I'm going to tell you how I didn't like the thing. Once I got what I wanted, now I'm going to complain about it. They're getting paid $1 million an episode. Right? Hold on a second. Let me look that up. The 6 main friend actors each earned $1 million per episode. During the 10th and final season, totally roughing at $18 million for that season alone. $18 million just to get paid to do the last season. 30 years later, now you're going to complain. Scarlett Johansson just complained about because she can't get roles that she did before when she was young, sexy, hot, whatever you want to call her. Okay. And now she's upset that other people can get hot, sexy roles and she can't get. Now she's got to play the mom roles. I mean, that's just the way it works. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're complaining about it now because now you can't get those roles anymore. Well, I'm sorry. That's how acting works. You're casted for your looks and then your acting ability. Sometimes one, then both. Sometimes just acting. You can look really bad, ugly, but if you're a really good actor, it's fantastic, right? If you're a good actor, you get gigs. If you look good, you get more gigs for a short period of time. That's her fault, right, Kraken? Shouldn't have gotten old. It's your problem. Hence why they all go to Hence why they all get Botox and cheek implants and go on, what is that stuff? Ozempic, whatever you call it. Unknown Worlds has announced that Subnautica 2 early access starts in May. There you go. In the wake of legal dispute between the fired leads and the game's published crafting. They turn themselves into lizards. There was something else I wanted to watch today, and now I can't find it. Let me go to Discord real fast. There was one more thing. Well, yeah, because Sydney Sweeney's, she's a good-looking girl, man. That's what it is. All right, the stuff that we missed, we'll probably bring up tonight. All right. So tonight, Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. That's tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30 NSG. We did hit the goal. I appreciate you guys. We did hit the goal where I know it says 3 of 5 up there, but we actually had 8 of 10. So we're actually 11 of 10 right now. So I do appreciate you. So tomorrow I will have a live stream. Don't know what we're doing. We might be playing video games. We might be just chatting like we're doing. We might do a whole bunch of stuff. We might play some VR. I don't know what we're doing. But tomorrow I will let you guys know when I go live. It'll probably be around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, not the 10 o'clock. But yeah, tomorrow morning we'll have a stream. I appreciate you very much. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do this Monday through Thursday. We just have conversations. Just have a... It's like coming to someone's house and just bullshitting and having a good time. We get you guys through a couple of hours of your day if you're at work or you're home, just passing time. Put me on the second screen, whatever. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night. I'll see you guys tonight at GXG at 8 p.m. Peace.
But every time I pull the trigger, it's like ghosts in the smoke. No suppression, no pressure, this ain't the old code. Grinding all night for that scope I need. But every upgrade feels like I'm planting seeds in concrete. Yeah, Battlefield's back, but fix it please. Hey, hey. Battlefield's back, hey, hey. But fix it please. Hit detections while bring it to its knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Every flank turns into a fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it please. Smooth launch, yeah, I can't believe my eyes. Call of Duty players jumping in, switching sides. Jet flybys, tanks on parade. But these spawn points got me feeling betrayed. I want that chaos, that old school thrill. Not running 10 miles just to die on a hill. So patch it up, guys, we know you can. Don't lose your soul to the same old plan. Yeah, Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Hit detections while bring it to its knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Every flank turns into a fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Now they're talking about a BR mode. Dropping in hot, another heavy load. We've seen it done, we've seen it fail. Don't chase the trend, stay on the rail. Keep it Battlefield, large scale fights. Don't trade the war for battle lights. We want squads, not loot box dreams. Stay true to the chaos, not stream of memes. From 2D 42 scars we rise. Learn the pain, now we're wise. Portals back, but man it's a choice. shore. Gotta dig through the trash to find the goal we adore. So here's to the soldiers, the fans who stay through every bug, every broken grenade. We're back in the fight, yeah, we won't leave. Just tighten that spread and let us breathe. Yeah, battlefield's back.